The season 4 finale was kind of a miracle in terms of how little drama it caused. I say that because season finales tend to bring out the worst in the fanbase. I don't know if it's because of anxiety from the fact that we'll be without new pony episodes for the next several months, or the fact that season finales tend to get placed on a pedestal, or whatever, but lots of people, especially those in the analysis community, tend to get their knickers in a particularly nasty twist for these episodes, crying Deus Ex Machina or toy ploy or shark jumping more often than in most episodes. Heck, I'm not even immune from that. If Twilight wouldn't have pulled out her magic ex machina, Tyrek would have won. Not my proudest moment. But even this episode, which most of the analysis community has come to a general consensus on, had to have some drama to it. And surprisingly, it wasn't for the reason that I thought. Going into this episode, I thought that rainbow power was going to become a major talking point for the postseason. But honestly, almost everyone seems to agree that it looks stupid, but it's on screen for barely any time, so in the long run it's not that important. No, it turns out the biggest point of contention from the finale was the destruction of Twilight's house, and I'll be honest, for me, it didn't even register that that could be something controversial. When it first happened, it didn't quite hit me that her house had been destroyed. I saw it more as a way to raise the stakes for Twilight and Tyrek's impending fight, and I didn't really have much time to think about it further since literally 15 seconds later, we got the giant laser beam fight of doom. Plus, she ended up getting her own castle later on, so I never had the chance to worry about the fact that she'd be homeless. But upon further reflection, I remembered something from Treehouse. In that episode, Twilight said, "I may not ever need to read these again, but that doesn't mean they don't have value." And then... Ooh, that hurts. But still, I wasn't saddened over the loss of the tree, I was saddened over the loss of the books and their sentimental value to Twilight that had just been established a month prior. Makes you wonder if they intentionally made that one of the lessons of Treehouse, just to make the tree's destruction more powerful later. But then I found out that some people really didn't like the house's destruction. So much so that someone wrote a petition to Hasbro and DHX demanding that they retcon the destruction of the tree. I did not take this very well, as I went to my Twitter page and said some kinda mean stuff to those who signed that petition. Now, I'm not going to go back on what I said in those tweets, but some clarification wouldn't be a bad idea. If you didn't like the destruction of Twilight's treehouse, that is a perfectly reasonable sentiment. There were a lot of memories made in that treehouse, and while I don't feel the same way about it that you do, I can understand why you would, and I don't think any less of you if you feel this way. However, if you signed that petition, that is a problem. Because by signing that petition, you're saying that your opinion of the show is more important than anyone else's, including the people who make the show. You're saying by signing this petition that you think you know in which direction the show should be going more than the DHX staff who get paid to make this show and have spent their entire adult lives writing, animating, and acting in this show and others like it. You know, there's a word for people like that. Entitled. First off, they're gonna rebuild the treehouse, and it's not because you signed a stupid petition. That petition has barely over 1,000 supporters. It won't mean anything to Hasbro. Heck, the biggest Safe Derpy petition that I could find had nearly 45,000 supporters, and we still didn't get her back until almost 2 years later. No, the reason they're gonna rebuild the treehouse is because it's also the town library, and as I mentioned in the big collab, books are very important to ponies, so the idea of them not having a library can't be a good thing for them. Also, do you honestly think that DHX doesn't have a plan for this? These writers know what the hell they're doing. For almost the entirety of season 4, we were complaining that Twilight's newly acquired princessness was pretty much pointless. And then Twilight's Kingdom rolls around, and not only do they make that the point of the episode, they make a friggin' song about it. I really doubt that absolutely nothing will come of this. We'll probably get an episode down the road about Twilight coping with the loss of the treehouse and the memories that the treehouse created, but then she realizes that she still has those memories and nothing can take them away from her, even though the place that the memories happened in is gone. That would make a great moral. And then there's the design of the castle. Now, first off, the physical appearance of it is subjective. What you find repulsive, others might find beautiful, so that doesn't seem like a great criticism. Also, crystals are weird in Equestria. I mean, non-crystal ponies are still able to be comfortable in the Crystal Empire and its rocky architecture, so I guess to them it's more comfortable than we make it look. I can see why people would say that it doesn't fit the simple design of the Ponyville buildings, but at the same time, Twilight is best friends with a master designer who has the desire and ability to make almost anything look good. I'd be willing to bet that once Rarity gets inside there and does her thing with the place, it'll look much more presentable. But I think the person that described it best was everyone's favorite cybernetic pony, Camgo's pony. Cam, tell them why this is actually a great thing.
Seeing it go is, it's fantastic. I said that the one thing I really wanted to see the season finale do was make big changes. If this show is really going to last as long as some of the speculation says it will, the show needs to be able to make big, permanent changes to its characters and structure. And that is exactly what is happening here.
This show has confirmed at least a 5th season, and Hasbro has said that this generation will last 5 more years. If the show doesn't want to face the same fate as other cartoons that have lasted for a long time, it needs these kinds of large-scale changes in order to keep the show from growing stale. And there's one other thing that leaves me not at all concerned about the destruction of the house. Even if I didn't like it, I'd get used to it. I've been a brony since the middle of season 2, and I've seen this show do a lot of things that I didn't like at first, but eventually I realized that it didn't have much standing on the actual show, and I got over it. And I'm sure that once season 5 starts, and we see the castle in all its glory, we'll all be totally fine with it. See y'all later. Okay, quick update on the status of my channel during the off-season. I have a bunch of scene defenders planned, some collabs in the works, and a bunch of random ideas for other videos. Plus I have a new series or 2 planned, plus the comics are still coming out, plus Rainbow Rocks will give me plenty to talk about, plus we might get enough information about Equestria Academy to make a video about it, plus I'll probably do a video about a future season 5 animatic, plus I'll do some random reviews here and there, plus I'll probably do some videos about other random cartoons, so basically, I'm not going anywhere this off-season. Expect a video every weekend.